Sly News right here. It's one of Mr. Sly Media. This is my last video for the night. I'm here to talk about the Jimmy Olsen spinoff movie that DC just announced that they're moving forward with. So they're doing a Jimmy Olsen spinoff. I always said in the Superman film, the two characters that stood out the most to me were Jimmy Olsen and the Mr. Terrific character. So that makes sense. If anybody were to get a spinoff, it'd be those two characters. So I know everybody's like, whoa, Jimmy Olsen? Like, oh, come on, really? That guy? This guy? But his comic hit the whole thing with him and Luther's girlfriend. His whole scene in the films in the film, I should say, was very show stealer. So the actor that played him and all that, he did a good job. So his scenes were actually very funny and one of the scenes that would break out in the film. So to me, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I can see a spinoff with him and the characters. I can see even Lois Lane popping up for like an episode or so. Everything. It's not like she's the actress is so much of a big name that, oh, we can't afford to get her on there for at least an episode. I can see her on there for an episode like how we saw Luther pop up in Peacemaker for an episode. So I can see that happening, But like I said, they said the rumor that the first thing they talk about in the film is about Gorilla Grodd. And if you watch the Flash franchise, you already know about Gorilla Grodd. I'm particular and am a fan of Gorilla Grodd. So I can't wait to see it. Them do like Gorilla Grodd, like a different interpretation of him in the James Gunn franchise. I enjoy him in the CW as the Flash, so definitely enjoy his interpretation of him in right here in James Gunn universe. So definitely can't wait to see that, with Jimmy Olsen's spinoff. Like I know people are like, oh, this character's not that big. Okay, how you gonna do it with the rest of the crew and all that? I enjoyed that crew, the whole news crew in the film. So I'm gonna see how they take it, how it does. So I'm not saying I'm excited, but I'm very curious to see how they do this film and see how it works. I mean, how they do his television show, see how it works. So it makes sense. I mean, James Gunn is good as doing is making unknown characters look good. All the way back with Marvel, where he did Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy was before he did the movie for them. Nobody knew about them. Nobody was like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy film and all that. Oh, who is this Guardians of the Galaxy? That film that year, I think, made more money than Amazing Spider-Man 2. Even though the Amazing Spider-Man 2 wasn't a good movie to begin with, but still it made more money than the Amazing Spider-Man 2 did and all that. And we know how much of a household name Spider-Man is. So Guardians of the Galaxy, yes, he made those characters household names. So he's good at doing that. Even look with the DC properties. Peacemaker. I did not know about Peacemaker. I didn't know who Peacemaker was. I thought it was a character he just created and all that. But Peacemaker had been in the comics and all that. But he wasn't known like that. James Gunn made that character known. Along with, like I said, with John Cena, having John Cena play that role, which has been like John Cena's breakout role in the film industry with doing that Peacemaker. So he's good at doing that. Even the Suicide Squad 2, the Ratcatcher, that was a character that was different in the film and all that. That was a show stealer for me in that film. So he's good at doing that, making characters that people didn't know that were and making them like famous and all that and stuff. I seen somebody in the comment section when they first announced it said the same thing as well. He was good at making characters that we didn't know that well and making them very big. So I think he can do the same thing with Jimmy Olsen character with his television show. He can make that television show real good, can be like one of the biggest DC television shows. I'm not going to say it's going to be the best DC television show of all time or anything, but he can make that show look real good and be looking like, oh, Jimmy Olsen? This is like, he made that show look good. So, like I said, nobody expected Peacemaker to be as good as it was, right? So, he can do the same thing with this. So that's what he's doing, the Jimmy Olsen spinoff. I hope next we announce a Mr. Terrific movie because his scene, especially that scene, he takes out all them people and all that when they're trying to stop Lex Luthor in the film. Like that whole scene, Mr. Terrific was so good as well. Then I'm hoping we get a Mr. Terrific spinoff as well, man, like a movie or something. Because you gotta do a movie. I don't think you can do a TV show, Mr. Terrific. You gotta do a film for that. But he's another character that stood out for me in that film. So, like I said, I can't wait, to see the Jimmy Olsen film because James Gunn, like I've always been saying on my channel for the past few years, in Gunn we trust. James Gunn pen is impeccable, man. His pen game is impeccable. So he's definitely good at, like I said, writing these characters right that we don't know that well and making them bigger than what they really were in the comics and everything. So, and actually, I didn't know it was a fun fact. Jimmy Olsen comic was the first comic to introduce Darkseid, who's like the Thanos of the DC cinematic universe, the big antagonist out of everybody in the DC universe. So, James, like I said, so the Jimmy Olsen comic has been good and all that, introducing them some big time characters, a character like Darkseid. So, and no, I don't think we'll get introduced to him in this television show, but Jimmy Olsen comic has been good as well. But yeah, like I said, James Gunn pen and Gun We Trust. I'm always saying this on this channel. And Gun We Trust, man, definitely like with James Gunn pen, I think he can write anything and make it look good. So I think he can make this Jimmy Olsen television show a banger and make it look real good. So let's hope he makes it real good like he always does with all the other shows. He hasn't missed yet on his pen, so let's hope he does it well with this one. Like I always say, if you like the content, don't hesitate to like, subscribe button. This is Sly News Writers, one of them is Sly Media. This right here was my review on about the announcement about the Jimmy Olsen spinoff that they're doing. If you haven't checked out my last two videos, I just did a review about the Super Mario Galaxy trailer that just dropped today. Did a review, I talked about that, and I talked about the Sonic 4 news about being a bigger budget than the other previous films were. So check out that. And I want to say appreciate you everybody for showing me love for the Predator Badlands movie review I did. Appreciate all the love for that. It's a good movie, and if you haven't seen Predator Badlands, please check it out. And then after you see it, check out my review on it as well. Y'all be blessed and have a good night. This is Sly News Writers on Mr. Sly Media. I'm out.